Hey, I'm Ron Drotos from keyboardimprov.com, and welcome to my Journey Through the Real Book, number 131. Hopefully it's your journey through the real book as well, going through the whole shebang in order, 400 tunes. It's going to take me about 8 years, and I'm loving every minute of it. Thanks for being here. This is Full House by Montgomery. And although when I was in high school learning jazz at the beginning, I played with all these guitarists because the local teacher in Stamford, Connecticut was a famous jazz guitarist named Sal Salvador, who played with Stan Kenton and made a great album with the person who became my piano teacher after that, Billy Taylor. And I knew Sal, hung out with his son, who was one of my best friends. Hi, Dan, if you're watching this. And I remember, Sal was a great guitarist, and I remember like 11 at night, I'd be over his house, jamming with his son, who also played keyboards, or we'd be listening to records or whatever, and we'd come into the living room and Sal would be watching Three Stooges movies on TV while he was just playing his guitar, unamplified, just loving playing the guitar all the time. Big influence on me, but even though I played with all of his students who I went to high school with, and we'd jam while they played guitar, they were so much into Pat Metheny and some of the fusion players, and maybe like Joe Pass, but not so much Wes Montgomery. I didn't hit a lot of these tunes when I was growing up, and I should have, so I'm glad I'm sharing this with you. Wes Montgomery, big influence on George Benson, if you know his stuff too. Late 50s, early 60s. This is a jazz waltz, and it just really pops. The rhythm pops, when you get to the melody per se. Just real, it has that energy of kind of bebop-ish with that crackling, kinetic, electrical, really like a real spark, but in a bluesy way too, and can also be considered modal. It's just really just an F minor to a B flat, 7, sort of a 2-5 that never goes to the 1, or you could think of it as a 1 to the 4 in a minor key, 1 to the major 4. However you look at it, it's a fun chordprogression to play because it can go bluesy, it can go bebop. You can play your blues licks on it. You can play bebop. You can play modal. Of course, the jazz waltz kind of has a 2 against 3, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. So it has that half, the measure is cut in half on the and of 2 with a little accent often. So play with all these things. Sometimes be more in 3, sometimes be more in 2, sometimes modal, bluesy, bebop, however you want to do it. And just speaking of all those things from a pianistic point of view, the pianist on this recording was Wynton Kelly, who was just the swingingest pianist ever, really. If you want to get your swing feel down, Wynton Kelly's. He's also on one tune on Miles Davis' Kinda Blue, which you've probably heard more than this maybe, is Freddie Freeloader. He's the pianist on that. Bill Evans played on the rest of that album. But Miles wanted to bring in something really swinging on piano for one tune, so he used Wynton Kelly. All right. The other thing, I was looking this online before, refreshing my memory on the tune and seeing what recordings were out there. And on the Wes Montgomery Wynton Kelly recording, I looked at the comments under the YouTube video, and this is many people's favorite jazz tune. I'm assuming they're the guitarists, but I don't really know. Favorite jazz tune, it's like Full House. Wow, it's not Freddie Freeloader or So What or Autumn Leaves, but great tune, great tune. So. It's got a nice intro, which comes back at the ending, and then ends with a vamp, and we'll see where this goes. Here we go, Full House. You know, it's funny about playing vamps at the end of tunes like that, because sometimes it's hard to get out of them. You know, you're just, it just feels so good. It's ebbing and flowing. And, you know, Keith Jarrett played vamps for years and years and years. And then at one point in his career, he said, you know, I think I went on a little too long with those. I'm not going to do that so much anymore, you know. But hey, you know, we go through our phases, and certainly his vamps are incredible. And John Coltrane, you know, would get into these things where he would play forever and ever and ever. And I think it's because after you play for a while, you start discovering new things. And I think Coltrane talked about that. So I would encourage you, you know, it looks like it's only 2 measures at the end, but it can be the most special 2 measures too, if you really go for it. And then what happened there, which is kind of fun, I was trying to figure out, you know, how do I get out of this? And okay, I'll just sort of fade out like on a record. Just, you know, sometimes, you know, the engineer's got the slider, or just going slower, slower, lower in volume, softer, 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 softer. And there you go. So I hope this inspires you to check out the tune Full House. Wes Montgomery's playing, tunes in the real book you don't always play. And those are the modal, bebop, and bluesy styles over this I mentioned at the beginning. And also, perhaps most importantly, Wynton Kelly. If you're not a big fan yet, check out Wynton Kelly's music. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next Journey Through the Real Book video.